Good evening, everybody. We welcome you live inside Salt Yard East for our signing day show. The 2023 class is revealed. I am Robert Portnoy, and we are at your home for Lobo Talk, by the way, all throughout basketball season, right up until March Madness here. Salt Yard East. We're on Osuna. We're just off San Mateo. It's an amazing location. If you haven't come and see us, make sure you get out here. We're going to be here for a full hour talking Lobo football with you, National Signing Day, and my pleasure to welcome in special guest, Lobo football coach Gianni Gonzalez. Coach G, how are you, sir?
Great. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing terrific. You have been running around like a chicken with no head today. Thanks for getting here. And I'm pumped to talk about these guys.
No, this is great. I mean, the whole day's been great. The process, we've got a lot of exciting things going on in our program, and it's good to talk about it.
You know what? It is a different situation now, isn't it, with regard to signing day? And you talked about it earlier today with the media, the way things have changed with the transfer portal. And, maybe fans don't even realize they look at your class, it's not as big as usual, perhaps, and there are reasons for all that, right?
Oh, definitely by design. Obviously, we've got a new offensive coordinator coming on. That's going through the HR process, should be done here in the next few days. I mean, we left a lot of people were wondering why it took such a long time. Well, they played in a bowl game just this last weekend on Friday, and so getting through all that stuff, we can concentrate where he was at, and then now opportunity to create some space. Now the calendar has changed. I mean, there's the early signing date. There's mid-year kids. They've opened up there used to be a dead period from the signing date until the end of the AFCA Coaches Convention, which is usually about the middle of January the 13th that weekend. Well, they've opened up that 4th through the 6th weekend to be able to bring in mid-year kids that can still enroll in school. And so there's potential we're going to have 7, 8, 9 kids on that weekend that will start school on January 17th. So this class will go from 10 to 17 with 14 of those kids being here to practice for spring ball in January.
Talk about the, you've had to sort of move some pieces around, to make room. It's an interesting scenario, isn't it?
It is. I mean, they've gotten rid of the cap for 25. You can sign really as many as you want, up to 85. You can have 85 guys on scholarship. Well, we had, of our last year's 85 guys on scholarship, we only had 4 of them that exhausted their eligibility. So if we only replaced the 4 seniors that replaced that exhausted their eligibility, we would only sign 4 guys in this class. Well, we've obviously got to get more talented. If you want to be a good coach, you get good players. And so the transfer portal era offers multiple things. I mean, people were worried about a mass exodus. There was 2 kids that I would say we were surprised or disappointed in. I mean, Cody Moon and AJ Halsey, we weren't anticipate getting in the portal. But we had to make roster space, and it's a two-way street nowadays so that we could sign a bigger class. And that's been the challenge over the last few weeks.
We are brought to you by Salt Yard East. Come sit, stay, and play. Alongside Lobo football coach Gianni Gonzalez, I'm Robert Portnoy. It is National Signing Day for the 2023 class. 11 players, coach, and a little behind-the-scenes deal. When the class was first put out, there were only 10 because you were working on an 11th late today.
We were working on Derek Moore, signed right at about 3:58. We got the official paperwork. So we didn't have time to get it out on this press release, but a great safety from Irvine, a big old joker that's 6'3", almost 200 pounds, that is very physical downhill in the mold of Tavian Combs. So Tavian will be able to mentor him for the next couple of years. We're excited about him. We're excited. We've got a couple of gray shirt old linemen coming in Lane Williams and Caden Romero from Rio Rancho. And then we've got other mid-year kids, both high school. Devin Dampier, the quarterback, the Arizona AP Player of the Year. Matthew Tololo will be here. He's a big old offensive lineman, looks a lot like Issei. So those guys will be here for the spring. Devin Smith is a 6'6", 290-pound tackle that was a basketball player in high school. He's got a mean drop step. I'm going to keep him away from Richard. He ran track in high school. I mean, did those things. So he's a multi-sport athlete. His arms are really long. And on this recruiting trip, I was like, hey, man, you ever play defensive end? We'll make you a lot of money out there rushing the passer. He goes, Coach, I protect the passer. So got the right attitude, knows what he is, was talking about me. When you're talking to an old lineman on a visit and he's talking about coverages and all those things, it's awesome.
I was thinking about a player swap after the season. Maybe you can get Josiah Alec coming your way.
No doubt. I mean, he'd be a great tight end. We could put Morris on the end over here. But how about the leaping ability of Devin Dent? I mean, oh, my goodness. That block he had on Sunday against Iona, we can throw it to him in the red zone. I mean, Richard's going to have to keep me out of his practice.
Donovan Dent is an amazing freshman, true freshman. Coach G knows his Lobo basketball. I saw you on court with Coach Pitino right after the win over Iona on Sunday. That was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I just told him he's not allowed to lose now. I mean, he's got this thing. You've gone 12 in a row. He's making winning look easy, which we all know how hard winning is, and what a phenomenal job they've done. I mean, to be the 5th Lobo team in history to be 12-0, have a chance to catch the 17-0 team. I mean, Colorado State, who has been obviously a nemesis for us for football. I mean, and they've got a great opportunity to start conference 1-0. I mean, I'm so excited for Coach Pitino and his team. It's really fun to be a Lobo basketball fan right now.
When your home has a plumbing, heating, cooling, or electrical problem, you need experts you can trust. Call your friends at TLC Plumbing today. We're live at Salt Yard East. Our location is 6001 Osuna Road Northeast. We're just east of San Mateo. Your home for Lobo Talk is your site for Signing Day 2023. The 2023 class is being revealed, and we've got Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez with us. I want to get into the offensive group here in just one moment, but before we do that, talk about how it's definitely offense heavy, this signing class, and that makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, obviously we needed some receivers. I mean, from productivity, everything. I mean, Luke is a guy that's coming back that's been productive for us, but we needed something. So we put some speed on the outside. We've got Duke Miller, who's a kid from Mississippi Junior College, and then Alec Morrell, who's from Northern California. I mean, both those kids, they make competitive catches is what we've struggled to do. And they can both run. They're elusive. I mean, they give us a dynamic that we haven't had. So I'm excited about that. And then offensive line, with DJ's injury, we needed a little bit more depth. Devin gives us that. I mean, you've got J.C. Davis, then you've got DJ Wingfield back, and C.J. in the middle, and you've got Issei, and you've got Tavian Ford, who can move around now. You've got Isaac Gutierrez coming back. But it gives us some needed depth with guys that have played at a higher level than high school with experience, and they're going to be here in January. So that's a huge benefit for our program, especially with the new offensive coordinator coming in and a new system.
Our show is being simulcast today. We're live on radio locally. We're also on YouTube Live right now. So what we're going to do, and unfortunately the fans who are here enjoying the show on site with us tonight, they won't be able to see these videos, but they're going to be able to hear you talk about these players as we go through the offense. So let's get right into it. Let's look at the offensive signing class. We're going to start here with Matthew Toilolo.
Very, very similar to Issei. I mean, he's a big old joker. He's 6'3", he's 300, he's probably more 315 pounds when we had him on his visit, said 305. He's a road grader. He's good in space. He's physical. He's got a big old wide booty, so he's going to knock some people out of the way and play with leverage. And Issei was able to do some special things, and so he went to Mater Dei and then transferred to high school in Orem, Utah, and he's been committed as a Lobo since early in September, and we're excited to finally be able to get him on campus, and he'll be here in January.
So a Long Beach kid who then moved to Utah, and now he's coming to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay, this next one, fans here locally are going to know really well. Aiden Armenta.
The arm talent that Aiden has is really, I mean, he can spin it. He's accurate. We got the opportunity to watch him during our 7-on-7 tournament. He came as an individual. He played on a Renegade team, which is other individuals, and without a coach, I mean, DeAndre Wright wants to take all the credit for coaching him, but without a coach, he led them to win our passing league tournament. He led his offense to score 89 points against West Mesa, 62 in a losing effort against Cleveland for the state championship. He can run. He's not afraid to run, but the arm talent he has, he doesn't need to. And so he's one of the quarterbacks that we've signed to bring in. He'll be here in the summer to compete, and we've got two of them that can compete, and we're really excited to watch them. So
Aiden Armenta, a 6'3", 190-pound freshman. He'll be an incoming freshman quarterback from right here in Albuquerque and La Cueva High School. And, you know, you talk about a pocket passer. He certainly is that. Now, this other quarterback, we're looking at highlights now of Devin Dampier. A little bit different skill set?
A little bit different. I mean, he can spin it too. He's a big-time athlete. He led his team to the Open Division State Championship. They lost to Basha High School. He threw a ball with about 6 seconds to go in the back of the end zone that the receiver caught and wasn't able to toe tap in the end zone. He was about 6 inches outside the back of the end zone. The semifinal matchup that he led his team back from a deficit, I mean, he's composed, great athlete, and he's hard to tackle. I mean, he makes people miss. He runs them over. He's kind of got some long strides, but he's got some wiggle to him. I mean, he's a superb player. I mean, Phoenix is the sixth largest metropolitan area in the entire country, and he was the AP Player of the Year for the state of Arizona. So we're really excited about having both those kids coming here.
Okay, now we move to Alex Morrell, a wide receiver from San Jose, California.
Alex is he gives us, when you watch some of these catches here, he's very competitive when the ball's in the air. When you can throw it up to him, he'll jump over DBs, he'll go and get it, he can run. He's 6'3". He gives us that ability to throw that ball in the corner of the end zone or on third downs. I mean, he runs his routes precise. He'll just go get the football. And one of the challenges we've had is getting open in the secondary, running by people. And Alex and Duke Miller both give us the opportunity to do that.
So you definitely were looking at recruiting speed, and this is one of those guys that fits the bill?
Speed, size. I mean, he's 6'3". Normally 6'3" guys are long striders. He's got a little bit of quickness to him, which is really good.
Oh wait, another O-lineman. This is Devin Smith from Mississippi.
This is he's 6'6". He's 290 pounds. He's physical. His arms are really, really long. This is the one I'm gonna have to keep away from Coach Patino, because I mean look at how quick his feet are right there. I mean his first step, you can tell he's well coached. His first step is always in the right direction. It's gathered so that he's in control. And look how long he is. I mean, we're really excited. He'll give us some great depth on the offensive line. And
he's playing it, obviously, at high school at any level, but it's a massive responsibility at that left tackle spot, isn't it? No, exactly right. And they did a nice job on the season. And now the Mississippi Junior College football is a really good level of football. All right, here's another local product, Nick Trujillo at the wide receiver spot. Now, the other local kids are going to get mad, Evan and all those guys, but I think Nick is a steal, especially from the state of New Mexico. I mean, he's got some wiggle to him. He's 6'1", almost 6'2". He can run. I mean, I was teasing those guys during summer camp. He's claiming to be faster than Evan and Luke. So he'll get an opportunity in the track season once Evan gets his foot completely healthy. If he can challenge Luke's 500 meter time, and Nick can challenge that too. I mean, we've got two speedsters from Cleveland High School that have the potential to really help us and help us early. How important is it for a player like Trujillo to have had the success to win at high school the way he has? Winning is an attitude. I mean, it's contagious, and you bring that with you. We had to fend off Texas Tech for a while. We were really worried where his recruitment was going to go, and Nick stayed faithful to being a Lobo, which is awesome. Okay, now, Evan Weissong, you already have a Weissong on the roster. Here's his younger brother. Now, you're going to see a lot of these clips, or all these clips are going to be him at quarterback. But as you watch these clips, look at what he's able to do with his feet. I mean, athletically, he's able to make people miss. So his transition over to wide receiver will be no problem at all, especially with the dynamic speed that he has. So 5'10", 170 pounds. I know you were asked today at your press conference about his skill set translating as a true freshman at the Division I college football level. How's that going to work? Well, honestly, we're hoping that he doesn't have to play as a true freshman. We're hoping that all these true freshmen come in, they don't have to play. But if he's the best one, just like Luke was 2 years ago, he's going to play. And he will get the opportunity to showcase it, and we'll see where he's at. We're hoping he doesn't, but it wouldn't surprise me if he does. Here's another wideout, Duke Miller. He's 6'1" and 170. What about him? Duke is an East Mississippi Junior College kid that he's got dynamic quickness. You watch him get open on these clips. I mean, he makes a lot of plays down the field. He comes back to the ball. He can make people miss. And once again, every single one of these catches, he's attacking the football. He doesn't wait for the football, which – that's hard to coach if a kid hasn't been doing it his whole life. What's the difference between quickness and speed? And do these guys have both? Alex has got more long speed where he can just run by people. As a 6'3" guy, he's got good quickness for being so long. And then Duke, he's shifty. And he'll go get the football, but he's always attacking the football whichever direction he's going. So Alex Morrell, he's more of a straight line speed, maybe take the top off the defense. Yeah, he's a guy that can run post, skinny post digs that if you throw it up there, he's going to jump over a DB and go and get it.
And then Duke can do all your now screens. He can do your speed outs, and he can take it over the top too and run posts and all those things. And we're adding some dynamics that we struggled with during the season.
You know, when you see 6'3" at the wideout position too, Coach Gonzalez, I think back to a Delane Hart Johnson, maybe the last one that we had in Cherry and Silver, who was able to consistently go up and make that contested catch, make that catch over the smaller DB, had the hands, had the dexterity, had the body control, and the want to make those catches. That's the kind of guy he could be potentially?
Definitely. The desire man in 2017, he gave us some fits when I was at San Diego State. So that's exactly what we're looking for Alex to do. I just love watching him go up and make competitive catches, though.
All right. We're going to take our first time out on our signing day show. We want you to consider Salt Yard East for your next private event. From big screens to plenty of seating to food and drinks to satisfy every taste, they're serious about having fun at Salt Yard East. We have to go through the defensive players on the 2023 signing class here on National Signing Day. We'll do that with Coach Gonzalez. Lots in store from Salt Yard East as well. We're going to hear from recruiting coordinator Brandon Blackman, who also happens to be the wide receivers coach. You can see there are a bunch of wideouts on this list in terms of talking to Coach Blackman about his position group and how that might look a little bit different next season. I cannot wait for that. So we'll do that as well tonight. We're going to see those highlights of the defensive players in this 11-player signing group. All that is still to come. Reminder, Route 66 Casino Hotel is proud to be the official sponsor of your Lobos. Get your kicks only at Route 66 Casino Hotel. Okay, we pause. We're live at Salt Yard East. It's our National Signing Day show on 610 The Sports Animal. Welcome back live inside Salt Yard East. It is your National Signing Day show for the 2023 class for Lobo football. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Hey, fans, remember All In Autographs, Albuquerque's premier sports memorabilia and collectible destination. Visit All In Autographs at allinautographs.com. We have Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez and Coach G. We just finished up talking about the offense. You said something that made a ton of sense to me this afternoon when you were talking with the media about the class. You said, you know, the defense, you look back at this past season, the defense was good enough to win you a lot of football games, wasn't it?
Well, we held people to, if you take away the touchdowns on either special teams or offensive touchdowns and fumbles, we gave up 20.6 points a game. You should be able to win multiple football games if you're only giving up 20 points a game in today's college football. Obviously, we weren't able to do that on offense, so we've got to continue to progress on that side of the ball. Obviously, Coach Long has taken a job at Syracuse, which is really cool for him. He's getting to plug and play into a system that's already installed. You saw all of the tweets on Twitter and all those things about Coach Long being the godfather of 3-3-5, and he is. Jolie Dunn obviously ran a 3-3-5. It was a little bit different. Coach Long worked for him. Coach Long also worked for a gentleman by the name of Don Matthews, who is credited with the Storm, the flex defense that they ran at Arizona. Coach Long took those two defensive schemes and combined them, and it's what we do. The best thing about that, though, is Coach Long is such an unbelievable teacher. The guys that have left from his tree have had great success. Coach Arnett's doing a great job at Mississippi State, Zach Arnett. Tony White did a great job at Syracuse and got the opportunity to go to Nebraska. We had great successes at Arizona State, and Coach Long's had success. So he's a great teacher he coaches coaches. And that's what I've been blessed with him for 25 years, so we'll continue to elevate on defense like we have before.
And I would imagine going to a Power 5 that he's going to get a nice little pay raise.
Significant. I mean, I can't afford $1.5 million here, so good for him. I mean, that's an opportunity to really, really enjoy retirement.
Absolutely. You know, the other thing, before we get into looking at the defense, we will do that in terms of the 2023 class and the new defensive players that are part of that class. Another thing that definitely something to follow up on, we already touched on it a little bit. You mentioned two of the players that went into the portal that you wish, if you could rewind, figure out a way, you'd love to have had Cody Moon stay and A.J. Halsey stay. But there is a list, there's a list of, you know, a double-digit list of players that went into the portal. In terms of that being a part of the landscape of college football in today's world and how that impacts how you transition from one year to the next, how you recruit, it just feels like it's a completely new ballgame.
It changes your evaluation as far as your years out form. Normally you can project, okay, I've got this class in 5 years, these guys are going to be here, so we need to replace this class. Well, every year you've got to be able to adjust that now. Like I said, we had 4 seniors that exhausted their eligibility, so you have to manufacture a way to make room for new players to be on scholarship. The rules that have changed with the transfer portal, they work both ways. I mean, kids can go and put themselves in the portal and see what they can find. We can have the same conversation with kids and my deal with kids is being honest with them. If you love playing football and you want to have an opportunity to play football, there's a chance that it's not going to be here. And we can help you get somewhere else. There's the opportunity of the portal where you can go and get an opportunity to play down in and down out. And we had to do that with a lot of these kids in order to be able to have room to sign new athletes. And so, I mean, people were worried on social media and on stuff about a mass exodus. That wasn't the case. We needed room to be able to get players. Now, I had great conversations with AJ and Cody Moon. AJ was the only group of 5 young man that was on every All-American, freshman All-American team. He did that at New Mexico. And I tried to get him to understand that. Now, they have agents in their ears. They have people in their ears that are telling them about different opportunities, and that's just a new fact of college football. So we had a great conversation, and I'm disappointed for the Lobos, but I'm not disappointed in them. They see a better opportunity that they think might be out there. I'm okay with it. Go do it. I'm going to slap you in the butt. I'm going to give you a hug. And if you need help, call me. I'll help you.
Fans, download the Lobo Sports app. Get it today for access to tickets, fan cam filters, mobile ordering, shows just like this one, and much more. It's now available in the Apple Store and the Google Store. Download it now and go Lobos. We're live for National Signing Day, our annual Signing Day show with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. We're at your home for Lobo Talk. It is Salt Yard East. Let Salt Yard Hospitality help you plan your next event. Come celebrate at either east or west locations with fun and unique spaces. Call 505-750-YARD today. Salt Yard East, by the way, is located at 6001 Osuna Road Northeast. We're just east of San Mateo. It's your brand new home for 2022-2023 for Lobo Talk. We were here with Coach Gonzalez throughout the fall, and we'll be all the way through the winter and into the spring with Lobo basketball with Coaches Bradbury and Patino right here every week, right up till March Madness. Coach G, before we get into a video review of the defensive signees, I did notice that there are a couple of safeties among your defensive signees, and if you look at the list of players that have gone into the portal, obviously it includes A.J. Halsey. He was a starting safety after Tavian Combs went down to injury. There are some other DBs that went into the portal. Was that a conscious thing, or were these just absolutely players you had to get?
No, I mean, we obviously needed guys that could be here and guys that can play man coverage, but they've got to be physical because of the style of defense that we play. And Skylar Cook, a young man from El Centro, he's physical. I mean, he's a 6-foot guy that can cover. He's got great hips. He can move. He comes downhill. And then Derek Moore is a 6'3" kid. He's built like Tavian Combs, long like him. And as you watch his highlight tape, he tries to destroy everything he hits, which is exciting to watch. And so being able to develop those kids for the opportunity to help us get better is something. And we still probably need to go find 2 more safeties. We're going to find a couple D linemen and a couple linebackers also. And then we need a couple big jokers at tight end. That leads into some of the stuff that we're going to do, obviously, offensively. And then getting dynamic in the skill positions.
We'll get to the defensive players here in just a moment as we take a run through video highlights of their high school careers for you as you watch us live on YouTube. We stream live on YouTube on the Lobos YouTube channel. We're also live, of course, here at 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, locally with our National Signing Day show with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. Coach G, we've mentioned him, and he is a perfect segue into a question about injuries because you've also mentioned DJ Wingfield earlier. But with regard to the safety position and Tavian Combs, Combs was locked in as a career starter at the Lobo spot in the middle of your group of safeties for pretty much as long as he wanted to be here, basically, with the performance that he had shown over his career. He goes down with the ACL, and then another true freshman, kind of like Combs, comes in Halsey and shows out, and that's amazing. But I bring it up because I wanted to ask, A, how far along is Tavian? How's he doing? You mentioned DJ Wingfield earlier as well. He's coming off the ACL also. I want to get an update on his status. Obviously, a massive tackle for you and would have been a starting guy the whole year if he hadn't gone down on opening day. And then the caveat question is, how does injury impact the way you look at a recruiting class and how urgent a need is at any of a number of specific positions?
No, injury is significant. I mean, obviously we need depth in the O-line, and so we were hunting up 3, 4, 5 more offensive linemen and it has to be solid depth. We're not just going to take guys.
And obviously there are a couple of them already in the
correct.
11 signees today.
And then in the secondary, Tavian is in. Both Tavian and DJ are doing really good in their rehab. They're probably about a month ahead of schedule. Doesn't matter. They're not going to start full go until June. We won't see them during spring ball. They'll get out there and be able to do some stuff. None of it will be live. None of it will be contact driven. So when they start running around in June, they'll be ready to go by August. Tavian Combs might have been our best football player on our team. And so that Lobo position, nothing's changed. I mean, even if AJ was coming back, those 2 guys would have competed, and we would have found a way to get both those guys on the field at the same time. Not a problem. But Tavian, I'm super excited he's coming back, and he'll have an opportunity to mentor Derek in the same mold.
What are the new recruits? And we're going to get to that here in just a second. So Tavian and DJ looking good in their rehab from ACLs, and the astute Lobo fan will think immediately of Dakota Cox, who went down with an ACL, not early in the year, but past the midpoint in the year. And he's able to come back without missing a season. You go even farther back, and the remarkable rehab and return to action of Dontrell Moore is another example.
Happened in the bowl game.
Yeah. So how you fully expect these guys will be full go, full speed by opening day?
Oh, there's no doubt. And Alec Marenko, who is about a month behind those guys, he tries to challenge them every day that he's going to catch them. I mean, they were a month ahead. Well, he's going to make up 2 months. So they're driven that way, and the three of them were working out together and doing things that it's helping that process. I mean, you never want to get guys to get the same injury. And obviously, we had to evaluate what we're doing because you get something like that. Sometimes it's just coincidence. Sometimes it's contagious. Sometimes it's something you're doing. And so those guys are challenging each other in the rehab process of, well, if you can do that, then I can do this. So much so that Derek and Steve and those guys have to taper them back because they'll go too far.
Great point, Coach, too, about Alec Marenko. He'd been really coming into his own at the linebacker position, also coming back off the ACL. Okay, we're on YouTube Live in 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Esports Animal. Let's get into video highlights of our Lobo defensive recruits. We're going to start with Jaden Wilson, a linebacker out of El Paso.
Jaden is very similar to Alec. I'm going to tell Alec, Jaden might be a better athlete. We'll see. I mean, he was a first-team All-City running back, first-team All-City linebacker. He's 215 pounds already as a senior in high school. He's a physical down. I mean, if you watch all the defensive kids, they all like to hit you. And every single one of them run their feet on contact, which is hard to train if you haven't been doing that your whole life. Jaden is a great athlete, and he accelerates every time he sees somebody in his target zone, which is, I mean, I'm excited about him. There's a chance that he's going to have to play next year because of ability, not because of lack of depth.
Boy, he sure looks like he loves coming downhill, Coach.
He does. I mean, and Jaden, now this will pull some strings in my heart. I mean, his younger brother, Aiden, who's 11, has Down syndrome. So him and Abby became like the best friends when Jaden came on his recruiting visit. So maybe there's a future for those two somewhere down the road. I mean, they had a grand old time, so it was exciting.
That is fantastic. Okay, here's Skylar Cook. He's from El Centro, California, safety.
El Centro's down there by Yuma, so it's hot. You get out there, you all you can do. I mean, there's not a whole lot out there in El Centro, but he doesn't break down. He comes downhill to try and get you, and he's pretty good in space. And what he has for a 6-foot guy, he has really long arms, and so he can make some plays. He attacks the football in the air. A lot of PBUs because he can get his hand in there when the receivers are going to attack the football. And he's physical. Once again, he's another downhill physical kid that when they hit people, they run their feet on contact.
And here's the one who it was just completed a little bit before 4 p.m. Mountain Time, local time, Derek Moore, another safety.
I mean, the people that are watching this on Facebook Live, I mean, watch how he strikes people. And people don't get up after he hits them. That's and none of them are dirty. None of them are illegal. He just doesn't stop. He runs full speed through people, and he tries to annihilate everything he hits. So he fits right into what we do. It's that controlled aggression. We got to be smart, play smart, fix up some of the knucklehead plays that we made this year so that we don't hurt our team on those big plays. He's one of those kids that has that ability.
Another California kid, Irvine, California, and the Golden State continues to be a critical piece in recruiting for you, doesn't it?
You know, between Texas, Mississippi, California this year, and then obviously, regardless of how we adjust our model and things we do, New Mexico will always be 3, 4, 5 kids that we're going to develop. And we did a great job developing Cody Moon. Look where he went from as a walk-on to what he's doing right now with over 100 tackles and giving himself a different opportunity. We're going to continue to develop New Mexico kids. And I'm not going to be surprised that they're some of our best players as we continue down this path.
Coach G, stick with us. I want to bring in your recruiting coordinator and wide receivers, Coach Brandon Blackman. I want to talk with both of you together about the synergy, sort of the combining the efforts of the entire staff and coordinating that and bringing it all together and how it comes to fruition on a day like this, National Signing Day. Maddox Management loves bringing renters together with the perfect rental home, apartment, condo, or office space. They take great pride in helping property owners build equity in their investment. Learn more. Visit MaddoxMGMT.com. It is National Signing Day for the 2023 class. We have Lobo head football coach Deanna Gonzalez. Recruiting coordinator Brandon Blackman will join us here in just a few moments. Stay with us. We're live at Salt Yard East. It's National Signing Day, your annual show for Lobo football on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Esports Animal. Welcome back live inside Salt Yard East. It is National Signing Day for the 2023 class. We have Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. We are live. It is your home for Lobo Talk all the way up till March Madness. It is your official watch party location for Lobo Athletics, and it is the site for the National Signing Day show tonight. We're here all the way up till the top of the hour, the 7 o'clock hour at Salt Yard East, 6001 Osuna Road Northeast, just east of San Mateo. You know, football's better with a crisp Bud Light at your game. Keep it crisp, Lobos. Please drink responsibly. Alongside Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez, I'm Robert Portnoy. We welcome in the recruiting coordinator and wide receivers coach for Lobo football. Brandon Blackman is with us. Coach Blackman, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Great to you doing well. You should be on a day like this. This is almost like baby being born for you on a day like this, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. It's an exciting day, and for all of us coaches, it's an exciting day too to just see all of our hard work coming together. And the moment you sign all these kids, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders, and we're just excited about today, and it's just a step in the right direction.
So I really wanted to talk with both you and Coach G together because I wanted to hear about the coordination of the efforts. And, you know, it's fun to hear Coach G when he talks about a certain period of time where the coaches head out on the road and you guys scatter and you're covering different areas. And then it all, you know, comes down to, I imagine, like this amazing war room scenario where you're all in a conference room over there in the Todeum and you've got a big board and all these names and can we get this guy? No, maybe we can't get him. What's it like?
Well, you know, one of the big things is Coach G really stresses with us just being thorough, making sure you find all the details, the information on every single guy. And at the end of the day, does this player make us better? And a lot of times that causes you to have to go out on the road, you know, from city to city, hotel to hotel. A lot of us from California to Arizona, even out here in New Mexico to Texas, out in Kansas, we have to go out there and we have to find those players. But you have to do a good evaluation. You have to look at those guys. You got to make sure you're finding out all the homework, talking to the coaches, asking everything from their character, how tough they are, finding out all the information on these guys, because at the end of the day, they got to be able to help us during clutch moments in ball games, and they got to help us win some ball games. And so it takes a lot of homework, takes a lot of phone calls, and you got to ask all the right questions.
Coach G, the coordination piece of it, how much is it you set up the framework and then you just set Brandon to work and he organizes it? Is it constant interaction between the two of you, or does he check back in after a certain period of time and you like reset, reevaluate, redirect? How does it work?
Well, recruiting is like shaving. If you don't do it every day, you look like a bum. And
so it's constant.
It's constant. And our recruiting coordinator, is that me? Our recruiting coordinator, Gino Ramsey, and Brandon, they collaborate, organize, evaluate. We set up all that stuff. And then the totality of it is coaches need to be responsible and have some management and have some ownership of their position. Because if they're going to get evaluated on the way those guys play, they better have some say-so in the input on recruiting them. And so coordinators, I mean, guys that have a lot of experience and who have been evaluating talent for a long time, and the thing that we've been really good at is evaluating guys and developing them. And 2 to 3 years down the road, they're really, really good players. Well, it's changed a little bit, so we have to evaluate guys that can come in and help us right now, but continue to develop them because we're still coaches. That's what we do. That's what we've been good at. So organizing that, and then they've got to be like Matlock now. They've got to know who they are, who they hang out with. They have girlfriends. Are they good in school? Are they nice to people, respectful? I mean, everything needs to be known about them. You better ask the janitor. You better ask the custodian. You better find out every detail you can because I'm going to ask.
You are incredibly savvy with new media, but I know that one piece of what Brandon does for you that is absolutely invaluable is his social media presence and just how good he is with that. He is a Twitter master. Was that a part of why you wanted Brandon to be a part of this process when you brought him in?
Well, our former recruiting coordinator who was on staff, Jordan Somerville, him and Brandon worked close together at Arizona State with me. And so those ideas and those things, and Brandon does a fantastic job getting the Lobo brand out there. And they created that stuff, and he continues to do a great job of pushing it.
Couple of comments and questions from fans who are locked into us on YouTube Live. One of them is, can't wait for Dampier. What about the recruitment of the quarterback from Arizona?
No, he's the AP Player of the Year in the state of Arizona. He's a dynamic athlete. He can spin it. He came on an official visit way back in September, committed in October, and his head high school coach just took a job at Arizona State. Don't think they weren't messing with him, and Devin stayed really strong.
Yes.
Jason Mons is a great football coach, one of the greatest high school football coaches in the state of Arizona, maybe ever. And they've got both. It's very similar to how we have David Howes and Heath Ridenauer. Arizona State has Sean Aguano and Jason Mons, who both of those guys are equally as talented as the two that we have here. And so us being able to keep Devin in that situation, he led him back from a deficit in the semifinal game. He led him to 6 inches away from winning the state championship game. The most exciting thing about Devin is that Aiden's coming together, and to watch those two compete against each other, and that neither one of them wavered when we told them we're taking 2 quarterbacks. Both of them have the attitude of, great, bring it on. And I absolutely love that about both these young men.
That is fantastic. Talking about Devin Dampier, a quarterback recruited out of Saguaro in Arizona, and of course the local product, Aiden Armenta, the quarterback from La Cueva here in Albuquerque. Okay, another comment from from YouTube Live today. This one is, Lobos only sign studs. I'm going to direct this to you, Coach Blackman, because 2 of the studs the Lobos have signed for the 2023 class are in your position group, and they're local guys from right here in the ABQ Metro.
Oh, yeah. No, we are really excited about Evan and Nick. And, the first thing with Evan, I have his older brother, Luke, so I've gotten to know Luke and asked him a lot of questions about his younger brother. And, the biggest thing about Evan, he's a playmaker. When that ball's in his hands, he finds a way to make things happen. He's got good speed, he runs track, and he's got the confidence about himself that he could take on anything in the world. And that's what you want. You want a guy that's confident. You don't want a guy that's going to be timid out here. And so that's what you love about it. If you ask him, he'll tell you he's better than Luke. And so that's something that you like. And Nick, we had him at a 7-on-7 camp at our school, and the guy ran a 40, said 4.4. I said, hey, Coach Ridenauer, come here real quick. Let me get this for myself. Said 4.4 again.
He said he didn't trust you, Coach Ridenauer. Did you hear that? he said, let me do it myself.
Yeah. And the kid ran it one more time because it was like, man, this clock is not right. And the kid ran another 4.4, and you're watching him just make continuous plays over and over and over again. And that's what you love about the guy. He's just got that mentality. I'm the best guy on the field. And when you got 2 guys that feel the same way at the same time, that's the type of mentality we're trying to build here. We want guys that feel like they're the baddest thing out there. And that's what we love about it. And I'm gonna keep feeding that in them. Hey, when we step out there against our opponents, hey, you worked your butt off, let's go. And awesome. So that's what you love about it.
All right, we got to get to a quick break. More with Coach Gonzalez and Coach Blackman. We're back after this timeout. We're live at Salt Yard East on 95.9 FM, NAM 610 Esports Animal. We are back live inside Salt Yard East, and it is our National Signing Day show for 2023 class. We have Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzalez. We have recruiting maven and unbelievable wide receivers coach Brandon Blackman alongside, and we're happy to have you on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. We're on YouTube Live as well. The 2023 class is set, 11 Lobos. And I'll start with you, Coach Blackman, here for this short segment. You were talking about you're literally never really off the grid, are you? That, you know, even after today, and you will get some time away from the office, a few days, but with social media and the way that recruits can contact you these days, you're never off the grid.
No, exactly. Like I was just telling you a minute ago, it could be Christmas Day, and you just so happen to check your Twitter, and depending on who the kid is, you know, he'll tell you Merry Christmas, and you'll tell him Merry Christmas right back. And then right after that, he'll say, hey, check out my film. And then next thing you know, your wife is asking you, what are you doing? We're opening presents. Oh, just give me 1 minute, you know. But, I mean, if you want to be a good recruiter, you can't turn it off. You got to stay on it. And, you know, there's a lot of great talent out there, and you just don't want to miss it. And so that's the big thing. Give
me the short version of the New York City story. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So one time I was out on vacation, and I was on Liberty Island out there in New York, and I was staring at the Statue of Liberty, looking at her in her beautiful eyes. And I got a phone call from one of my OCs, and he was like, hey, there's a kid I need you to take a look at right now. And then he just FaceTimed me right off the bat, right before I could even text back. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, Coach, I'm looking at the Statue of Liberty, looking at her right in her eyes right now. He was like, let me see. And I showed him, and he was like, okay, well, I need you to look at some guys real quick. And I was like, hey, I got it. I'll do it for you right now. And so that was a fun time. But, you know, you want to build this program up. That's the big thing. And you want to make people proud. You know, and I talked to Hank Baskett, Terrence Mathis, Travis Brown, those guys, former wide receivers. You want to make this program proud. And so that's one of the big things. We want to find players that can impact this program and make those guys proud, just like they did when they played here.
Coach G, before we get to break, what about the commitment that these guys make? And you've got many of your staff here on site with you today watching our show live at Salt Yard East, and the hours that they put in, the work that goes into putting together a class of 11 like this.
Well, their mentality is, if you want to be a good coach, you better get good players, because coaches don't play. And if you don't have enough talent, you don't have a chance. So if you've got enough talent and you go out and find it and you have some ownership of your group, then it gives you some motivation to be successful.
Okay, we need to take one final timeout. When we come back on the other side of the break, we wrap it up, our National Signing Day show from Salt Yard East. Come sit, stay, and play at Salt Yard East, the official watch party location of Lobo Athletics. You're listening live on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. We are back live for one final time at Salt Yard East. Make sure to stop by Tikka Spice right here at Salt Yard East. Tikka Spice offers South Asian street food, traditional items, and fusion dishes. Voted a best food truck by Albuquerque, the magazine, in 2021. Tikka Spice, family owned and operated, and right here at Salt Yard East, your official watch party location for Lobo Athletics, the home for Lobo Talk, and your site for tonight's signing day show with Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez. He is the wide receivers coach. Massive piece of the recruiting for Lobo football. Brandon Blackman is alongside as well. I'm Robert Portnoy. By the way, thanks to Robert Gibson producing. On-site engineer Fred Slow. You know those guys really well. And if you're watching on YouTube, live on our YouTube channel, Chase Christensen has directed the entire operation solo. He's amazing, and thanks to him for his great work as well. He's got a great staff, too. I don't want to say it's just Chase. We are so happy that you've been a part of this. Guys, we just have about a minute and a half to go. Put a bow on your class for 2023 here at this early signing period.
Well, obviously, we've got more to come, and it'll happen quick. They've changed the calendar, so as Brandon said, recruiting ain't stopping. We're going to bring probably 8 or 9, 10 kids in on the 4th through the 6th that can enroll right away. So there's a lot more to come, exciting times of kids that'll enroll in January. And then the high school idea for February 1st. I mean, it's coming quick.
Coach Blackman, congratulations. I know this is just a massive day for you every year when it comes around, and I know you're really proud of this group that you guys have put together, you and the entire staff.
Yes, sir. No, we are definitely excited, and the staff has put in a lot of hard work, and it's just good to see this all come together. So we can't wait to see these guys when they get on campus.
Guys, thank you both for being here. Brandon Blackman and Coach Gonzalez, Danny Gonzalez, I'm Robert Portnoy. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lobo Football 2023 signing show is in the books. A class of 11 players, 8 on offense, 3 on defense, brand new Lobos, high school kids, JC kids, and as Coach Gonzalez said, perhaps some more coming up, maybe even as many as 8 or 9 coming after the first year. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Robert. Thank you.
So everybody, thank you to everybody here at Salt Yard East. It's your National Signing Day show for 2023. Good night and go Lobos.